Rome, the unstoppable juggernaut that forged the greatest empire the world had ever seen. Sparta, the warrior state where every man was raised for one purpose: war. But what if these two titans of the ancient world went head-to-head in a battle for supremacy? The disciplined Roman legions versus the fearless Spartan hoplites. Who would emerge victorious in this ultimate clash of civilizations? Stay with me, because the answer is not as obvious as you think. First, let's set the battlefield. Sparta reached its peak during the 5th century BCE, legendary for their victory at Thermopylae and dominance in the Peloponnesian War. Rome, however, hit its stride centuries later, from the 2nd century BCE through the imperial period, when its legions conquered the Mediterranean. So, to make this showdown fair, let's pit them at their primes. Sparta of Leonidas versus Rome of Julius Caesar. Two military machines both obsessed with discipline but built very differently. Spartan warriors weren't soldiers, they were living weapons. From the age of 7, boys entered the brutal agoge system, where they were starved, beaten, and hardened into some of the deadliest fighters in history. Their strength was the phalanx, a wall of overlapping shields and deadly spears moving like a single organism. Spartans didn't break ranks, didn't retreat, and didn't fear death. But here's the catch: Sparta was small. Their numbers were limited. Even at their height, they could rarely field more than 10,000 hoplites at once. Rome's strength wasn't in individual warriors, it was an organization. The legion wasn't just an army, it was a machine. Each legion was 5,000 strong, broken into centuries led by hardened centurions. This flexibility allowed Romans to outmaneuver rigid phalanxes like Sparta's. Romans also brought something else to the table: engineering. They could build roads, bridges, and fortified camps faster than any enemy could react. A Spartan army might fight bravely for a day, but Rome could grind them down with logistics and sheer endurance. So what happens when the shield wall meets the legion? At first, the Spartan phalanx would dominate head-on. Their longer spears and iron discipline could punch through Roman lines. But the Romans weren't stupid, they adapted. Using the manipular formation, Romans fought in flexible blocks that could absorb and flank the slower-moving phalanx. And once the Spartans broke formation, game over. Rome's cavalry, artillery, and reserves would tear them apart. Remember, Spartans were terrifying in small numbers, but Rome fought wars of attrition. Rome could lose battles, but still win the war. So who wins this ancient superpower showdown? If we're talking about one battle, Sparta has a fighting chance. On a narrow pass like Thermopylae, their phalanx could crush a Roman legion in brutal close quarters. But in a war, Rome wins, every time. Rome's manpower, logistics, and adaptability would eventually overwhelm Sparta. It's David versus Goliath. Except this time, Goliath doesn't fall. Sparta gave us legends. Rome gave us an empire. And in the end, empire beats legend. So, history buffs, what do you think? Could the Spartans ever pull off the impossible and topple Rome, or is the Legion truly unbeatable? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you loved this deep dive into ancient warfare, hit like, subscribe, and join me next time as we uncover the battles that shaped our world.